Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Emefiele opts for plea bargain in alleged 6.69 billion naira fraud case. 18 fighter jets to boost NAF fleet. Wagner leader Rogozin feared killed in crash. UK's first womb transplant raises fertility hope for women. Lagos Assembly holds clearance for Abayomi Adeyoyi, 15 others. UK gives 8 months completion date for Abuja light rail project. Illegal fabrication of AK-47 ongoing in Lagos, CP tells IG. And APC fills vacant NWC and zonal offices. Which story are we starting with in The Nation?
Can I start with the Lagos Assembly?
Please.
That shocked everybody. They did not clear Professor Abayomi, Mrs. Adefisayo, the Gbenga Omotosho. They have not given us a reason as to why they didn't clear them. But because I was listening to the radio as well, when they ask, they all say, is it yes or no? No! Wow. All of them will now shout. And, you know, the reason I'm taking this story, because these are people that worked.
Yeah.
They were in the last administration and
health,
they worked.
Education.
Health. Professor, during COVID, do you remember what? Yes. That professor about me, he lost weight. He's already skinny. He lost weight. He was everywhere. Mrs. Adefisayo, I don't know her, I've never met her, but I know what she did with the education she was. And you know, these are commissioners that worked. You are seeing them on the job.
Yeah.
Going, there's nothing that comes. And then he's ready to answer journalist questions. He will come on the show, give him, and he would answer very simply. You know, he was a very transparent human being. And now you don't confirm them. Please, can you give me a good reason? You have to. You can't just tell us you're not confirming them. You have to tell us why.
Why? Please.
All right.
Why? Is it because everybody is now gossiping?
Like
That
it's not our hot topic.
It's
We'll
not.
discuss it.
It's
an important topic to be discussed. Right now we're reviewing the papers. So let us finish the papers and then we can always discuss it. Is it okay, YK? Yeah, you're right. A lot of Nigerians are asking questions. And these are questions that need answers to. But first, let's review the papers. So any other story in Nation, Mariam?
I do.
Yes, I have a story. Wagner leader Prigozhin feared killed in a crash. And this is coming just 2 days after he released the video that they were in Mali to help Mali fight against the insurgents. I took the story yesterday about how their arrival led to some agitations on the continent. Now he has been reported to be killed in a crash in Russia. And we're wondering how. You were in Mali just 2 days ago, saying you were protecting, this country. So what's happening? But then there are speculations that this is related to the failed mutiny that was staged against the Russian states. And the CIA is also speculating that this is a revenge from President Putin, who had thought that his behavior in June, I think June this year, he had said that his behavior was a betrayal to the Russian state, and then the CIA is thinking that this crash is a revenge for what happened. So fingers are crossed. President Biden said he's not surprised that this happened, and then investigations are still going as to ascertain what actually happened.
So the minister of the FCT, Hurricane Nyesom, has frowned at the dysfunctional state of the Abuja light rail project. He was doing his inspection, his very first inspection after he became the minister, confirmed minister, and he noted that the task of restoring the Abuja Metro line had become crucially fundamental as part of the President Bola Tinubu's promise to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. And he was there with the Minister of State for FCT, Hajia Mairiga Mahmood, and other government officials, and he said that the rails, he has given the permanent secretary I think 18 months, I believe. Let me see. Trying to get the exact number. So he's giving them to pay the outstanding money ASAP so that they can actually complete the light rail. This was money from the China Exim Bank, and he has said that they must repair this within, I think is, I'm trying to get the exact date, but I don't have it anymore. But pretty much has just given a standing order that rail must be fixed ASAP so that people in Abuja would have the light rail working as soon as possible.
Well done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. So I have this story, the Commissioner of Police, that's the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, at the inauguration of the Complaint Response Unit by the Acting Inspector General of Police, he complained that there's an increasing local expertise in the fabrication of firearms, including replicas of foreign-made pistols, AK-47, and other assault rifles. He said that added to that, we have cultism, which of course shows portends security danger. Then he said, then we also have threats of armed robbery, kidnapping, murder, sexual and gender-based violence. This is Lagos State we're talking about. He says they're also every day constantly dealing with the thin line between civil and criminal dynamics of land disputes, which is very prevalent in the state. He says that of concern is also the traffic gridlock as a result of roadworks going around, and traffic robbers have taken advantage of that. So these are the challenges that they're constantly having to deal with here in Lagos. He said hardly a day passed without the ever-vigilant operatives of the command recovering weapons and illicit drugs of various descriptions at stop and search points, raids of black spots, and other operational engagements. And all such recoveries linked to the perfection of crimes across the state. That is our crime profile for Lagos State. But he's also saying that they're working, hard to make sure that it's better. And that's why the CRU is being built, and it will help, support in crime fighting.
Okay, any story, Nation?
Nation, I took the first story.
Oh, you did? Oh, I guess. Moving on now to the Punch. State's debt may hit 1.34 trillion over the palliative loans. Picture here of fleeing drug baron crushes NDLE officer, agency launches a manhunt. Man drives tractor into market, destroys 320 million naira property. Senate probes public procurement under Buhari. Assembly drops Abayomi 16 Sanwo-Olu nominees, confirms only 22. Naira tumbles to 900 naira to the dollar. CBN vows bureau de change operators clamp down. And panic as rogue killer soldiers spread deaths in Lagos roads. Let me take the picture story. So the NDLE, I think many of us have seen the story online, has launched a manhunt for a drug dealer by the name of Shounmi Kayode, who is now on the run after crushing an operative with his luxury car. According to the story, NDLE had gone to his house to search in Lekki on Friday. And while they were searching, Abayomi was driving into his compound. And once he spotted the NDLE officials, he reversed immediately, pushing down his own gate, crushing into the opposite house's fence, and then driving right into his neighbor's house. So once he saw the damage on the car couldn't move. He rushed out of the car and went on his heels. The officers tried to chase him, but obviously they couldn't find him. So while reversing to his gate, he had knocked down an operative of the NDLA who broke a few ribs and they fractured some of his two legs and is currently in the hospital. So during the search, they found 10.5 kg of loud, and they now have launched a manhunt for his arrest. So
that's him?
That's him, yeah, on the front page. Okay, any other story in Punch?
I found very funny that they put his picture on the front page, and
inside the paper, they blurred it. And I'm thinking, who's fooling who here? Right. Okay, which other story?
Okay, I was going to take the rogue officers. There is panic in Lagos, in Nigeria, as rogue officers have taken to stealing cars and killing the drivers. I took a story on Tuesday about the senator's aide who had been killed. Then Nima sent me the driver, pictures of the driver too, who was killed. His name was Lawal. And there are many more. There's this Bolaji guy who was killed because he parked in front of the Lagos Oriental Transport. Yeah. And he was killed. He didn't die. He wasn't killed, he was shot. He didn't die. And the army keeps saying they're investigating. The Lagos State House of Assembly has demanded
immediate investigations.
Yes, immediate investigations into the matter. The senator has given they've got contribution of 55 million for his aide that was killed to give to the family to train the children until secondary school level.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Mariam?
Have here, the Naira tumbled against the dollar at the power market on Wednesday. That was yesterday, closing at 900 Naira to a dollar. They said this comes 2 weeks after the local currency was sold at 960 to the dollar. We also remember that in recent days, there had been, the local currency had traded between 850 and 880, but then it's falling again by Wednesday. On Wednesday, the Naira fell further at the power market, which also fell on the investor and exporter window to 773 to the dollar. The local currency closed at 757 at the I and E window on Tuesday. So we have BDC operators that are in Lagos, Kano, and Abuja, and all of them also gave that by Wednesday they were selling between 895 to 900. So the central bank has, sat down with BDC operators, and also remember that there was a circular that had been sent out saying that there's a particular margin that BDC operators should trade the currency, and it should be between minus 2.5% to plus 2.5%. Anything above that, they would be reprimanded, or they will face the consequences. And so, yes, they're telling them by 31st of August, the circular would take effect.
Okay.
I'm surprised, Cha, that they are not able to, because it was very low last week.
Yeah, because they injected $3 billion into the system. So
everyone went and bought them, and then up the price must have been what happened.
Daily Sun, FG Emefiele explore plea bargain option. Fuel subsidy removal. I'm shocked, scared of federal government's plan. A lack of plan for Nigerians, says Obaseki. Lagos Assembly rejects 17 commissioner nominees. National Assembly to revisit gender equality bill assures Akpabio. Job scam probe, reps angry over refusal by 300 MDAs to honor summons, issue final warning. We won't tolerate failure, Nigerians warn ministers. NDLA launches manhunt for Lekki drug dealer who crushed operative. And UK pledges to work with ECOWAS leaders to restore civil rule in Niger Republic. Okay, which story are we starting with in Daily Sun? Let me talk about our dear President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has assured Nigerian women that the gender equality bill will be revisited even after all the setbacks of the past years. He made this promise when the International Conference on Women in Governance, organized by the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja, came to see him. He was saying that if we look at his antecedents, he's one of those governors during his administration. He ensured that women took proper position and were well represented in high positions in his cabinet. Says that he promoted gender equality in all aspects of life, and especially in the public sector. He said that this is in recognition of the immense contributions that women make, and he has consistently argued that Nigeria, to become truly great, must, as a matter of emergency, must invest and empower its women. He stated that the approach of the challenge of the women on impressive numbers in all levels of governance must be beyond a token, but must actually be intentionally done. So he's excited about it, and he believes that that more women should actually lobby to be able to get this bill passed, and he will do everything within his power to support the bill to be passed in his own tenure as Senate President. So we'll see how that goes. And that story in Sun?
Yeah, so there was a press conference in Abuja by a coalition of pro-democracy group. They call themselves the Natives. They had their supreme leader of the Natives, Olalekan Smart Edwards, and his message to the ministers. He's urging the ministers to help the president to perform better than his predecessor, stressing that the country deserves better than the past. They said that we're total and firm believers in renewed hope administration, so we'll give you citizen support. We will be at your doors. We will keep you on your toes. They're talking to the ministers. Meet you in the field, monitor and evaluate your progress, and we will not be afraid to spot you out or call for you to be booted out. This time around, Nigerians must win. They also said that they have examples like China and Singapore before, and Rwanda before them, and so they should know what to do. But at this time, they're threatening that they will campaign for sack of
That's this reps. Reps?
Yes. This group, this is a pro-democracy group, calling on ministers that, see, this time around, we are not going to just watch you lay around. We will make sure that you do your job. We'll have our eyes on you. We'll keep you on your toes. We'll ask you questions. And if you underperform, we will campaign for your removal.
Okay.
Okay.
Elison?
Yes. Job scam probe. Reps angry over refusal by 300 MDAs to honor summons. Issue final warning. So the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating this job racketeering in ministries, departments, and agencies has frowned at the slow move of about 300 parastatals to appear before it and give account of their stewardship. So the committee chairman, Mr. Yusuf Adamo Gaddi, he's saying that the committee would not hesitate to wield the big stick on any agency that fails to appear before it. He goes on to say that there is no MDA that has an excuse not to show up, even if they've gotten their letter or not. They should have seen the publication in the newspapers and they should show up. One of the agencies being probed is the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. And the committee noted that Benue, Rivers, Kebbi, Ogun, Ebonyi, Kano, Oyo, Taraba were the least represented in their hiring process. And in response to that, the president of the MPGMC said that it got the waiver to employ only 37 in 2019, but it was able to recruit 22. However, the chairman still said that even those 22 that he employed still did not reflect, the representation of these states. So they're still probing, and then we'll see how it goes.
All right, moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Niger, Algeria, Egypt oppose military action, seek dialogue. Nigeria needs quick fix to economic challenges. Eneka tells new ministers. PDP Adebutu's case against Governor Abiodun distorted, says NPC. Elevator crash, immortalized Diaso, NMA tells Lagos governor. Wike denies purchasing 300 million naira bulletproof SUV. There'll be zero tolerance for procurement fraud in MDS's Senate.
Okay.
And alleged 6.9 billion naira fraud, Emefiele exposed plea bargain. Let me take the MDA, which is kind of related to what you took earlier. So the Senate, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Procurement, Senator Monday Okpebolo, has said that the 10th Senate, working with the president, would not tolerate any procurement fraud. Let me even say it very slowly. Any procurement fraud in the government or the ministries or all the MDs. According to him, many wrongs will be corrected. We want to make sure only qualified persons can get contract jobs they tendered for. The federal lawmaker said that all those are calling for bids and lining up people up for rigorous pre-qualification. Sorry, actually, let me say that again. He said that when they line up people who are pre-qualified to get these bids, the practice in the past is that people will just come from the behind and take the contract. That will stop in this new Senate. That said, this Senate due process must be followed. They want the country to experience a new era of procurement and commitment to the rule of law. I can assure you that this Senate is sincere about the New Deal, and we are bringing forward in accordance with the renewed hope of our president. So I like what I'm hearing, and this is the senator representing, I think, is Edo, and I'm happy that Niger Delta minister, trying to see the way he's representing here. But the point is that I'm happy that the Senate from this article seems to be aligned with this renewed hope agenda, because that's what Nigerians want. If you are saying renewed hope, let everybody be aligned. So I'm happy that he's speaking this way, and I will hope that they're able to ensure that procurement for contracts for the federal republic follow due process. It's not about who I know, All right,
so I wanted to take the Wike story about the purchasing. He denied purchasing any 300 million naira bulletproof SUV, and he actually said that it isn't fair that they spread rumors about people, and he said, if you don't believe me, let's go to the car, go and knock the roof of the car whether it's bulletproof. So the journalists too, they went to the car,
they went to knock
the car, and that it wasn't bulletproof. So he's saying, please, that it's the car that they gave him that he's using. That as governor, he had cars, but as minister, he has not purchased any car. It's what the PAMSEC gave him that he's using.
Okay, any other story in Vanguard?
Yes, I have The enemy, Lagos chapter, has urged the Lagos state government to immortalize Dr. Diaso. We remember the late doctor that lost her life in the elevator crash. And so they're asking, that she be immortalized by naming the House officers' quarters after her. There was also like a panel sitting, and we have Dr. Benjamin Olojebutu, who lamented that upon inspection of the House officers' quarters, one of the elevators making up the two-lift system was disabled, and its part was used in repairing the damaged elevator. He also said that Lasiama was called so that they could, have a conversation with them, and they did not make that invitation. They did not honor that invitation. There are so many recommendations that they made, concerning their own investigations and what they noticed. And a few of them is that they should get qualified professionals to carry out the design, supervision, installation of public assets. Okay, and one of the things about Lasiama not showing up was that they were unable to go through their agreements and papers to find out what exactly the issues were. And so based on that, they gave a few recommendations to the Lagos state government.
Okay, I think that's all we can take on paper review.